This was done in a photographer's studio in High Holborn. It was just along the road from Woolworths. And if you look very closely, you can see I'm wearing a little glass watch, which I was very proud of. And I can remember that dress for my mother's. It was blue with black. Mm-hmm. And you see how they wore their hair in those days. Mm. And my mother would have been 28. And I was 3. And my dress was yellow, or dark yellow.
Tell me who this is and where this picture was taken.
That's my mother, and this was taken in our flat in Fleet Street, and it was the kitchen window, and it looked over the temple, and we could see Big Ben, and it was rather an amazing place to be brought up. That's me in my school uniform. You see, it's a jibber, it's not pleated. Mm-hmm. And I'm wearing my house ward tie. They would call them wards, not houses, to go with the hospital image. And that's how I wore our hair at that time. I think I was 12. It must have been just before the war. We were in Gloucestershire, pea picking and potato picking. In June, it would be 1943-44.
So how did that work? Did you apply to
What you did was you got a week's leave extra to go if you did a fortnight's farming work. They paid the women 10p an hour and the men a shilling an hour. And we paid something like 27 and 6p for our board. I seem to remember him, but he's rather good looking, so I suppose I would. But I can't put a name to him. I look very grim, don't I? Granny looks grim. I think the sun must have been in our eyes. This is Tye Rock, near Porthcatho, wherever it is, Porthcatho, up on a headland.
That's in Cornwall.
That's in Cornwall. And, that's Mum, as you can see, and that's Joan. Arthur Tenniswood, known as Big Arthur Askey. And he came into the Bank of England, and he met his wife. And one day he came down into the office and he said, "You realise what I owe to you? My wife, my job, and everything." And Barbara Hobson looked up and said, "Be careful, one day he'll come down and shoot you." And that was dear Snodgrass, Eric Amos. Mm-hmm. And he'd been in the RAF. And he was lovely. He said terribly funny things in a very droll way. And this is why we're laughing. That's Renée Hadley, and that's where I met her. Mm-hmm. And I was 17, so she was 23. That's before she met Frank. That's Bob Hurst, who I broke my heart over. And there's Granny. This was during the war. He was working for ARL, Admiralty Research Lab at Teddington. He was a bit upper class, you know.
So these are 2 pictures.
That's the Overseas League.
Right, tell me what's going on in this production. Do you know what the production is?
Yes, it's called Before the Party. It was the first big role I'd ever had. And oddly enough, I was in it as the last play I ever did, the same play.
Who's the play by?
Somerset Maugham.
Right.
I was playing Laura, a murderess. I killed my husband. And I was wanting to marry again. That was my father, Aubrey. It was my sister, Kathleen. That was my mother.
What colour was your dress?
Blue.
It's the same set of characters, isn't it?
Yes, and they are talking about things, and I think I'm worried. So I'm looking like that, but I'm going to be found out.
So how many years did you do that?
Oh, not all that long. Because once I met Dad, he wasn't having me in my underwear on the stage.
What were you in your underwear?
It opens with me in my underwear in my bedroom.
That must have been quite risque, really, wasn't it?
Well, yes, I used to get a lot of comments, I know.
I bet you did. So, tell me about that photograph. I've never seen that one.
It's Springfield, and it's Dad with Mum, and that's me wearing a hat, which is unusual.
When do you think that was taken?
Possibly before we were married.
So about
1953, 54.
You've both got hats on as well. It's very smart.
Yes, I don't know why. It must have been Sunday.
That's really nice. Oh. Have you seen what you've written on the back?
It's Peter drunk again. Spring for Easter 1954.
Okay.
I dated it pretty accurately.
That's good.